Please click on the subscribe button so you get notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Here, you took office in January. From then till now, is this what you expected? Where you expected to be?
I think when you're running for office and you tell people, what your platform is, and you get out there and you meet with voters and you ask them what they like to see as a priority, and you learn all of the various things that are happening. I mean, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to do when you get in, and then when you lift the veil and you see that there's a ton of things happening that you have to tackle all at once. It isn't exactly what I thought it would be, but it's been rewarding in many ways, challenging in others, but the work is getting done in the midst of a lot of the chaos, and I feel really good about it.
Okay. So would you say you're generally optimistic?
You know what? I'm generally an optimistic person in life anyway. I've had a very those that know my story. I wrote a whole book about my Stockton journey, and I've had a very challenging life. And I've had a lot of trials and tribulations, but I've had a lot of triumphs, and I've come through a lot of things. And so I just tend to look at the world in a very optimistic way.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Is the question, would it make my job easier if people just said yes to me?
No, would that be fun? Like, but my question be is, would your job be easier?
Would my job be a lot easier if people say yes to me?
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
Do I do
It
I
would,
do I
yeah.
want to be surrounded by, and am I surrounded by yes men all day? No. I like people who push back if the intention of pushing back is to get to a better answer, right? I think I've said many times, and I think what people have seen for me so far is I'm not a politician. I'm an elected official. I'm not somebody that politics. I'm very much playing the game, as you would say. But I say to everybody, it's not just about counting to four. It's making sure that every vote counts. If you look at my legislative record when I got in, I've made some errors in the very early stages of my political life in Stockton, and I'm learning. And I'll be very transparent about that. That there is no real training wheel that gets put on a person when they assume office, right? But you have to be humble enough to acknowledge when you have shortcomings or when you fall short of the mark. And I think that what I've learned about Stockton politics, which is quite unfortunate, is that it's more emotional driven and more personal driven than being practical, right? Like, I'm a very practical person. I don't look at Democrat, Republican, right, left, gay, straight, white, black. I look at the issue, how it impacts everybody, who's excluded and how do we include them? How do we set a table for everybody to have an equitable experience or access? And how do we be as transparent as possible and not use transparency as a talking point to just win a conversation? But I'm also one person, right? So going back to what we talked about earlier, if you have a bunch of yes people around you that are just saying yes to be popular, to be standing next to what looks popular or shiny at the time, that all is that's not gonna work in the long term, because people aren't stupid. And this is why it's important to do shows like this and have conversations about local issues and be very open and honest and accountable. I think I said to you guys when we were setting this up, ask me any question you want. I don't care. People really want to get down to the facts as a person sees them, and be able to sit back and watch the show and judge if they're being honest or not. So I don't like a yes man. I think that that's a sign of weakness. I like people who will push back creatively, but with the intention to get to a better solution.
How about
Tune in Thursday at 8. You never know who might join us.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.